we first looked at the property, the listing showed balustrades surrounding the Gite Terrace, and I absolutely loved the look of it. But when we came to view the property, we found that those balustrades were no longer in place, or at least most of them weren't. There were a few on either side, but for the most part, the pieces were laying underneath bushes in the yard. So today we're going to take the first steps to setting them back up. We're going to clean up the terrace and then see how many pieces we're lacking. After giving the terrace a quick power wash, my husband fished all of the balustrade pieces out of the bushes to see what we had. And after setting everything up, it looks like we're only missing 2 of the top rails. Now, traditionally, this type of balustrade would also have a bottom rail that looked exactly like the top rail. So we may look into sourcing some more pieces so that we can put this back to what it should be. I'm happy to say that the Gite bedroom is finally coming together. This has been an incredibly slow to evolve room. So back in March, I found this bed at a consignment shop, and it was only 20 euros, so it was a steal. The upholstery's great, it's got the beautiful nail heads, but there was a problem. And that's that it was not a modern sized bed. And to further complicate things, bed sizes in France are not standardized in the way that they are in the US. So it took a bit of noodling, but we figured out a way to change this bed to what would basically be the equivalent of a queen bed in the US. So we took apart an old box spring my husband did, and he actually built out a new base for the bed so that the mattress that we had would actually fit it. And I think that worked out really well, because when you sit here and look at it, it does not jump out at you that it has been turned into a bigger bed. It doesn't look awkward in any way. So that was a big win. And then we had found this nightstand here at a vide grenier for 20 euros, which was great. And it actually is the same color as the wood trim on the bed, so that was wonderful. But the other weird thing is that we never can find two matching nightstands. I don't know why. There are like 50 million variants of this style of nightstand. So we finally at least found one that was similar enough to work as a set. So that if you were to put them side by side, they're actually a little different, but the color is pretty close, size is pretty same. So that worked out okay. And then in keeping with our crazy lamp project, I had my husband wire up these old oil lamps. So I originally found this one at an oceanfront vide grenier, and somebody had already turned it into a lamp, but the wiring was ancient and had issues. So he has rewired this one for me so that it's safe to use. And then I was looking for a second one to go with it, and kind of like with the nightstands, they're not identical, but they're close enough. So he was able to, this one was still an oil lamp when we bought it, so this is a complete new rewire job from him. And we were able to add a taller neck on it, so that even though there's a slight difference in their height, when they're standing next to each other, visually they're the same height now. So they're like tops of if you were to draw a line across the top of the two lampshades, they would match up. So that was a really good solution, I think, for that. And then we found this bench for 8 euros at the thrift shop, and the finish on it was pretty much completely worn off the top. So I re-oiled it this week, and I think that's looking a lot nicer. So that gives people a spot to sit and put on shoes, or a spot to open up a suitcase, that sort of thing. And then I had been struggling to find a rug to match the bed. And finally, about 2 weeks ago, at the consignment shop, was this one in pink. So I think it works really well with the bed, and also it's really the perfect size for the room. Not too big, not too small. So that was really good. So we're getting a lot closer, I think, to having this room done. I have a plan for a dresser, a really, really low one here at some point. And then I still need to deal with the bedding. Right now that's just an American queen sheet that I have kind of stretched to fit the bed for the moment. So I need to get some bedding. You saw a while back where my husband rewired these sconces for me for the bathroom, so that's sorted out. And still need like the soft touches, like I need to order some towels at some point and those sorts of things, but I think it is starting to come together. And over here I'm planning a little sitting area. So this is I use it as a coffee table. It's an old plantation desk, that I brought from the US. I've had it for years. I actually bought it when I was in college. And the rug is let's see, that was a consignment store find, and without measuring it ended up being exactly the right size for that space. And I've got a really low slung sofa down a floor below right now that will eventually be coming up here when we get the sofa sorted out for down there. So I think this is starting to come together as a really cozy little spot. So the grocery store had a crazy good deal this week. You could buy up to $25 worth of canned goods at 80% off. So one of the things that I loaded up on was whole peeled tomatoes, so I could make our favorite tomato soup. And so I've made a batch for today, which I'm just about to finish up. Now I love this recipe. Start to finish, it's maybe 20 minutes. And it's so, so tasty. Make sure I get all the tomatoes. Ooh. Just leave that. So apparently I am still learning how to drive this immersion blender because I had the same part for years. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, and the final step is just to add a half a cup of heavy cream. Yeah, this soup is really good with just a piece of crusty bread. Tasty, tasty. All right, stir that in. Oh, I am on it today.
We got something for Mr. Huff to clean up.
Yeah. Okay, so probably the messiest batch of tomato soup I have ever made, but it'll be as tasty as usual. And I will include a link to this recipe in the description below the video if you're interested in trying it yourself. Hopefully without the mess. And here is the reality of me cooking in the kitchen. Mr. Huff to the rescue to clean up. Now, ironically, I just cleaned this stove right before I started cooking today. We are on it today. Thank you, sir.
That's close enough to perfect.
This week I also made the first batch of mocha hot cocoa for this season. Now, I developed this recipe 4 years ago as a Christmas present for Mr. Huff, and it quickly became a family favorite. So now I start making it as soon as the weather gets cold, and I pretty much keep it stocked until spring. If you want to try the recipe, I will include a link in the description below the video. And if you're looking for cheap and easy Christmas gifts this year, there is a free printable label on the website that you can use to gift it.